What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a review for you. We're going to be taking a look at the Bauer 10-inch 5-speed drill press. Seems to be a pretty good little unit, so I want to take a look at it today. If you guys want to check out some of the reviews I've already done, make sure to go back on the channel. I made a playlist of all the reviews we've done. There's some on welders, belt sanders, all kinds of stuff on there. So let's get through the intro and jump right into today's video. Alright, so now that we've gotten through the intro, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the specs on this thing before we get it unboxed and put it through its paces. We're going to be using this thing for mostly metal because that's what we work on around here. So we're definitely going to run it through its course today. So to start off with, we've got a 5-speed adjustable operation between 630 and 3300 RPM, which is done by changing the pulley configuration with the belt. So I'm hoping that that belt drive holds up pretty good. It does have the 2/3 or 6.2 amp motor on it, which also, as long as the belt drive is good, should help out quite a bit when we're going through some thicker steel. It has an LED work light, a 2-inch max travel quill. We've got a 1/2-inch drill chuck, which was also a big deal. I didn't want to get stuck with a smaller chuck and not be able to use the tools that we might need in this thing. The table does tilt in both directions 45 degrees, and this plugs into your standard household outlet. So I'm pretty excited to try this thing out and see how it does. It will definitely be handy for a lot of the projects we have going on around here. So let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed. We'll set it up and we'll start running it through its paces and see how this thing does. All right, guys, so I don't really like doing unboxings, so we might jump around a little bit here as we open this thing up. We will get it opened up, set up, and then try it out and see how it does. Let's get this thing opened up, and I will make sure to show you guys anything that I think is important. Got your base, I'm guessing. Handles. Got our table. I can tell you already that this one feels way heftier than the other brand that Harbor Freight had. I think it was Central Machinery or something like that. I could tell just at the store that this one felt a lot heftier than the other brand there. Oh yeah, it feels way heftier. Alright, let's go ahead and set this to the side for a minute. The base and the table definitely feel pretty decently heavy duty for the size of this thing. We're going to go ahead and take this collar off here. Now we can go ahead and line this guy up. The head on these bolts are 1/2 inch. So we can take our little handle lock, just get it started in here. And then we've also got to get our worm gear put in. Okay, so now we're going to hold the gear rack, the table, and try to get it to go down onto the column here. Now we can take that collar that we removed before. Go ahead and put that back in. Now we're going to take our handle here. There's another set screw in the handle itself. We want the set screw on the flat spot, obviously. Alright, now we're going to start working with the drill head itself. There's going to be 2 set screws. We're just going to back those up a little bit so that they are out of our way. Put the Allen head aside. And then carefully, we're going to try to pick this up and get that lined up with this and set it right down on it. Oh yeah, it's not bad actually. Feels like it bottomed out pretty good, like that. What we want to do is align this drill head here with the base. I'm gonna go with right there, I think, for now. We can go ahead and tighten those set screws up that we loosened a minute ago. All right, now that we got those set screws tight, we can start putting the feed handles on here. A 1/4 inch wrench actually seems to fit these pretty good. So we're gonna run this table way up, and you're gonna need a piece of wood and the chock. So we're gonna back the chock up so that it's full open, like so. Take our piece of wood and our chock, gonna come down with our table a little bit. I'm gonna go about there, and I'll lock this thing up like so. And now we're gonna wanna come down with our feed handle and get the chock lined up with this. And then we're gonna wanna put a good amount of pressure on it. That should be it. It should be good to go now. That's how you do it. And now that is all together. So let's go ahead and plug this thing in real quick and make sure that all the functions are gonna work for us. Got our little light. It's got a laser going on here. That's kind of cool. I do also like that it has a little spot for the chock up here. The key. You can put that right there so you don't lose it. That's a nice feature. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on and see what happens. I don't know what speed it's at, but we'll check that in a minute. I will say it is super nice and quiet. I like that so far already. It's a lot quieter than I thought it was going to be. Alright, so as you guys can see, I've got a bunch of stuff laid out here that I want to use to try to help us run this drill press through its paces. So to start off with, we've got some metal coupons over here. This is 1/8 inch aluminum, and we got these from Weld Metals Online. We use the Weld Metals Online coupons for our Prime Weld TIG, our MiG 170 from Harbor Freight, and our Bauer belt sander review. We've also got some 1/8 inch coupons from them as well in mild steel, and some 3/16 square tube. Now for drill bits, we're gonna start off with our 11/16, a pretty standard size out of our Harbor Freight kit that we've got over there. And then we're gonna work our way up from there. We've got some step bits, a couple hole saw bits, and then when we really want to put this thing to the test, I've got a 15/16 bit. This one is brand new, so that should give it half a shot here. Now we're going to start small and work our way up, and we're going to start on our softer metal. So we're going to start off on aluminum, and then we'll go to the 16th and then up to an 1/8. We are going to be using Tap Magic on every bit to give each one of them a fair shake. This stuff works really well and helps conserve your bits. We are going to run this on the lowest speed setting to start off with, and if we need to, we can bump it up a little bit. So let's get set up here and start putting this thing to the test. Alright guys, so we're going to start off with our 1/8 inch scrap coupon here. And I just threw my vise in the press here. I use it mostly for welding, but I didn't want to permanently fix it to this yet. I might get another one just for this, because as you can see, I made some stuff so it's easier to hold pipe and stuff for welding. So let's go ahead, get this thing fixed in here, get some Tap Magic on this thing, and give it a shot. Extremely nice clean hole. As you can see, I did use this one for some practice TIG welding with the Prime Weld, but extremely clean, looks to be straight hole. Super happy with that. Now let's go ahead and step it up a little bit. So that was 11/16. Let's go up to a 3/8. Let's go ahead and put some more Tap Magic on there. Drilled nice and smooth right through that one as well. Now let's step it over to something a little bit different. Let's try a step bit. Let's try our champion one. Let's go up with the table a little bit again. I like how quick and easy it is to move this table. All right, let's go ahead, fire this thing up, and give the step bit a shot. This thing's making quick work with the step bit. Wow, that actually did extremely well. I'm actually really impressed with how good that worked with the step bit. I know this is still only aluminum, but that actually cut really well. Look at that. Nice clean cut. Even went through the side of that weld there. So I'm pretty happy with that, pretty impressed. That's a pretty clean cut. I mean, there's barely even a burr on the bottom of that, which has more to do with the drill bit than the drill press. But still, super clean, super straight, happy with it. Let's move on to something else. Now, there's a couple ways we could do this. We could set our depth, or we could center the press like I just did so we can go all the way through. If I notice that it's catching this for some reason, we will obviously stop. So let's throw another piece of aluminum in here. Clean some of these shavings out of our way. Take a little bit of this. Nice little cut there. All right, let's go ahead and try the hole saw and see how that does with this drill press. Not too bad. I think it made a pretty decent hole. Pretty decently straight. Alright guys, I had to turn a fan on the GoPro because, like usual, thing was overheating. So, let's pick up where we left off. As you can see, that thing drilled a perfect hole. It worked really well with the hole saw attachment. So I'm really happy with it so far. It almost looked like there was a little bit of movement here, which kind of threw me off, but the hole's perfect. And I took my angle finder and I put it on the drill itself, and it's right at 90 degrees. Same thing if you put it on the bit, it is dead set on 90 degrees. So not 100% sure why it looked that way. It could have just been an optical illusion because it's spinning so fast. But so let's go ahead and move on to some steel and see how it does with that. Or do you guys think we should try the 15/16 on aluminum? Let's go ahead and try it. Why not? Let's go ahead and put some tap magic. Big drill bit. All right, let's put our goggles back on. Always wear your safety glasses, guys. I know I preach it a lot, but there's a reason for that, as I only have vision in one eye. So just make sure you guys always wear your glasses or goggles. So let's go ahead and give it this 15/16 bit a try. Hearing this vice grip rattle. And it did it. I mean, we did it without any pilot hole or anything, so I don't expect it to be the prettiest thing. Let's take a look at it. Maybe I should have kept steady pressure on it all the way, but it did do it, and it didn't bog down. I haven't bogged this motor down once yet, so let's go ahead and clean up a little bit and switch over. We will start back at square one and run through some steel and some square tubing. All right, guys, so we've got our 1/8 inch thick mild steel down here and our 11/16 drill bit back in. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of tap magic like we've been, and we will give it a shot with mild steel. So let's see how it does. Just like before, it looks like a super nice, clean cut. I'm happy with it. Cut through pretty good. We still have the drill press on its slowest speed. We will try kicking it up a little bit here in a little while and run through just a couple on steel and see how it does at higher speeds. So let's go ahead, change out the bit. We will step up to the next one that we used, which is right here, the 3/8. So let's go ahead and swap these out real quick and see how it does with the 3/8 bit. Let's see how it does. Pretty clean, not too bad. I thought it went through pretty good. It didn't start the greatest, but I think that was more the drill bit than the press, obviously. This drill bit's probably been used countless times, so let's chalk it up to that. But I don't know if you guys could tell, I was putting a good amount of pressure on this thing, and it didn't seem to deflect, and it didn't seem like it bogged even the slightest. So I'm pretty impressed with that. I don't know if we're gonna go all the way up to the 15/16 on the steel. All right, let's skip over the hole saw and go to the step bit next. I want to see how that one does. Throw some tap magic in there, and let's give it a shot on some mild steel. We started hitting the vise because I didn't even think about moving it. But you get the picture. It was cutting through that like nobody's business. It was cutting through that with no problems whatsoever. And it actually cut better than the 3/8 drill bit, which makes me think that this one is sharper. So that 3/8 bit is ready to be replaced. All right, let's try something a little bit different. I'm gonna go ahead and change the speeds on the drill press. We're gonna bump it up a little bit and see how it does with a regular drill bit through some more mild steel. So let's get the belt moved around and give it a shot. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and open this up. You've gotta loosen the lock here that lets the motor move around. We're gonna bring that in towards us a little bit. And now we should be able to move the belt up. I'm gonna say let's do the second fastest speed. Alright, we're gonna go second from the top, second from the top. That should give us a decent speed bump here. That one should put us at 2,450 RPMs. So let's give that a shot. We were at 630, so that's a pretty big jump. Let's see how it does. Tighten this back down so that the motor can't move. We want a little bit of deflection in here, but nothing crazy. Close this back up and give it a shot. Let's see what it does. All right guys, so we've got it bumped up in speed. Let's go ahead and give this thing a run and see how it does. I think it's gonna do pretty well with this bit at this speed. I believe we were at 2,450 RPM. So let's give it a run. I think the higher speed worked really good and could work really good for certain applications, but personally, with metal, I like to drill at a lower RPM, so we're gonna put it back to the lower RPM, and I wanna give it a try on this square tubing and make sure it's gonna drill a nice straight hole right through it. So let's drop the speed real quick and give that a shot. All right guys, so we've got it back down at 630 RPM, and we're gonna give it a run on our square tube. We've got some tap magic on there, so let's see how this thing does. I drilled 2, as you can see. I didn't like the camera angle on the first one, so we drilled the second one, and those things look perfectly straight to me, which is the whole point of this, being able to drill straight through objects like this. So that's going to be really nice to have for a lot of projects. Let's go ahead and clean up some of these metal chips real quick. Alright guys, so there you have it, the Harbor Freight Bauer 10-inch 5-speed drill press. I think for the price point, this is a very nice machine. I think it's very well built. It's extremely quiet, and I think it's going to do everything that we need it to. It does extremely well with aluminum and pretty decent with steel as well. I haven't tried drilling any hardened steel, but for everything that we do automotive related, I think this thing is going to work out perfectly fine. And for the price point, I would definitely highly recommend it. I think it's going to serve us perfectly. So as always, I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell, and we will catch you on the next one.